Story 1. An active topic in the archaeology world is the exact time frame of when humans made it to the Americas. The date keeps getting pushed back with more controversial discoveries that then just turn into evidence as they pile up. It is a fascinating story to see unfold. Story 2. So, the monarch butterfly migrates to Mexico and back every year. During the year, there are a full 4 generations of butterflies that live and die during the journey. Upon returning from Mexico, the butterfly manages to find the same trees its relatives started out at, despite never having been there. Story 3. The brain, the organ with the capacity to comprehend the cosmos and control it with cutting-edge technology created from that comprehension, finds it difficult to understand how the brain works in real time. We understand some things, such as how certain areas work and how their failure affects how we experience life, but we are unable to explain consciousness, which is the collective manifestation of all these experiences. Story 4. Arthur Conan Doyle once sent a prank letter to 5 of his friends, which read, "We are discovered. Flee at once." And one of them did indeed flee, disappeared, and was never heard from again. I always wondered who he truly was, who he worked for, what he was trying to do, and who the other conspirators were. Story 5. I was reading some time ago about baryonic asymmetry. During the Big Bang, matter and antimatter should have been equally created, but there is a clear bias towards regular baryonic matter and against antibaryonic matter. And basically, nobody knows why this happened. I think it's one of the most fundamental questions about existence. Everything exists because of this asymmetry. Story 6. What sort of knowledge was lost when the library at Alexandria was burned? What really happened to Amelia Earhart? What happened to the 2 princes locked in the Tower of London? Story 7. Who was the 5th man in the Cambridge spy ring in England of the 1950s and 60s? The Cambridge 4 consisted of Kim Philby, Guy Burgess, Donald MacLean, and Sir Anthony Blunt. Who was the 5th member of the ring? Story 8. At the beginning of the universe, a huge amount of matter and antimatter formed and immediately mutually destroyed each other. However, there was a small surplus of ordinary matter, leaving enough to form the universe as we know it. As far as we know, there should have been equal quantities of each, and there should not be a significant amount of baryonic matter in the universe, but here we are. Story 9. The case referred to is the boy in the box, and it concerns a young, unidentified male whose body was discovered in Philadelphia. The mystery surrounding who he was and who murdered him has puzzled authorities and the public for many years. Story 10. Not the universe, but where is the universe? We know our universe is always expanding. Therefore, it is expanding into something. What is that something? Because it can't expand into nothing. And if it is expanding into nothing, what is this nothing actually? Story 11. Legitimately, you can look at any modern model of theoretical physics, and even if we have a functioning understanding of a lot, it's mostly, well, we know it does X if we do Y. But there is still a huge amount of mystery surrounding things that most people take for granted, like the properties of light, gravity, and matter. Science gets incredibly wild just below the surface, and even the brightest minds in human history are still working generation after generation at finding more answers and still coming up with more mysteries in total as our understanding and technology increase. I know science is like a cop-out answer, but it's seriously so interesting to me. Easily, the most intriguing mysteries to me involve physics somehow. Story 12. D. B. Cooper. The man is a legend, and no one knows what truly happened and how he did it. Many people claim to be him on their deathbeds, but nothing has ever been confirmed. Story 13. I will tell you a new one you probably have never heard of. When the Portuguese discovered Brazil, they had a fleet of ships around 1500. They were all in awful condition, and those who were lower workers were even in worse situation. When they had Brazil in sight and saw native indigenous people on the coast, they established contact. But one unusual thing happened. During the night, 3 men who were lower workers decided to cut the ropes of aid boats attached to the vessels and sailed to the coast. At the moment, everybody thought they were somewhere in India. They sailed to the coast and simply vanished. Who were they? What happened to them? Where did they go? Story 14. Maybe not the biggest ever, but the one thing that has stayed with me since it happened was how on September 11th, All of the passengers who made phone calls to loved ones introduced themselves with their full names, every single one of them. It's not too strange, but it's quite odd. Story 15. One of the biggest mysteries ever is the origin of the universe. Questions about how the universe began, what existed before the Big Bang, and the nature of dark matter and dark energy remain largely unanswered. Additionally, the existence of extraterrestrial life poses another profound mystery. Are we truly alone in the universe? Other intriguing enigmas include the Bermuda Triangle, where ships and planes have mysteriously vanished, and the fate of the lost civilization of Atlantis. Did it ever exist? And if so, where is it now? These mysteries continue to captivate scientists, historians, and curious minds alike, driving exploration and inquiry. Story 16. One aspect that fascinates me is the existence of extraterrestrial life. With billions of planets in the universe, it seems unlikely that we are alone. There are many theories surrounding Area 51 and events like the 1947 Roswell crash, where it is believed that the United States government covered up contact with aliens. They say Area 51 is just for testing military aircraft, but is there evidence there that we already have alien life visited or communicated with Earth? Story 17. It might not count as a mystery, but if we do count it, it has to be whether or not there was for certain a Jesus Christ that lived on Earth, a historical Jesus. And I think these days it's pretty fringe to not believe he was a real person. But assuming there are still some credited scholars of antiquity that argue he never lived, that would be my pick. Story 18. The Great Attractor. There is something in the universe so big, so massive, that it is actually pulling in galaxies. Whatever it is, it will eventually end life in our galaxy. Story 19. What's going on with the universe? I'm echoing another user from Reddit who posted something similar. But what is the story of the universe? How did it come to be? What are we supposed to be doing here and such? All I know is that I woke up here, just appeared out of nowhere, no backstory other than the fact that babies are born from women, and they grow into adults. This may sound immature of me, but I don't believe that's the full story of where people come from. Also, where do people come from? How do people originate? Story 20. I think the biggest mystery is where do my keys hide whenever I'm already running late? It's like they have a secret talent for disappearing right when I need them most. Story 21. The baryon asymmetry problem in physics. In summary, matter and antimatter are energetically equivalent, so where is the antimatter? All were annihilated after the Big Bang, but why was there more regular matter?